Satu konsesi ya. 8 detik.
Lagi dia minta foto bertiga.
Hakim nih, hakim kayak ada 100 orang. Ini 11.
Nih, mana uang? Mas Uang.
Ayo cepet yuk.
Ayo.
Mantep nih. Kantoran. Mbak, ayo Mbak. Berapa ini? Bukan dicuci gitu, Mas. Ini ya, benar. Turun sini. Ya. Turun sini. Turun. Ayo guys. Thank you very much.
Cumberland Blue Line Station.
Dia kayak panjang.
Route to 9 westbound to Cumberland Blue Line BTA Station.
Ya iya bareng-bareng.
Malah ngaco. Ini mati. Rado. Iya, kalian 17. Jasis, Chicago, Brand. Dari yang sebelah sana. Tahun
Iya. Lagi mau
Pometa. Ini pometa aja.
bagi dua sama
Jadi kenapa nggak ada sini semuanya? Karena bisa duduk saja. Iya, kalau ini berdiri mas. Iya, apa mas? Nuam mas.
kalau aku itu jalan kaki.
Klik.
building. You'll see an upper half in a moment. See that upper half there? That upper half was completed in 2010. Revenue generating rooms. To our left, you'll see a tall white building. That tall white building is the Aon Center, the fourth of the 5 tallest structures in the city of Chicago, a commercial office building. We'll talk about this style of architecture later on when we have some more time. Our building gleams like that a little more because the architect used far wider pieces of terracotta at the top. So at night, the top would look shiny over downtown Chicago and the base is a little darker. So let's talk about this building right in front of us, Trump International Hotel and Tower. The Trump building is the second of the 5 tallest in Chicago today, called the style of contextualism. Contextualism is of the boxy building to the left. The Trump building only makes sense right there. It's an example of contextualism. Site-specific design, the most common walk to work in their jobs across the river in the Loop. But there was nothing around here in the 60s. It's a residential condo building. See these beautiful Greek temple shapes on the top of this shiny building to our front left? Each side of the building has a little Greek temple on top. See how the building has a bottom and on the top, also called a base, shaft, and capital? That's part of that classic Greek temple shape. The building has a Greek temple base, Greek temple themed base. The building also has a Greek temple lobby. Chicago is right here to our front right, Salesforce Tower. Fresh office building opened up 2 weeks ago. It houses employees of the Salesforce Software Corporation. It's the only building that people get frozen, then packed onto trains and refrigerated that ran behind the building. None of these windows and patios were there. There was a big freezer because the cold would have escaped. Harry Weiss converted this building to the condominiums it is today in the 1980s. Because it was a cold storage facility, a big freezer, Harry Weiss had to spend 6 months deep-thawing the building. It was frozen entirely. Because none of these windows and patios were there, Harry Weiss had to cut through a full foot of that red brick that are reminiscent of sails and rigging. You see portholes that look like those portholes on old commercial passenger vessels everywhere. Harry Weiss had served in the Navy. Harry Weiss was inspired dream-like Hungarian river cottages. This is 4 vertical condominiums. 3 of the 4. I assume nobody, I won't turn around. And as we turn, I'll come around to see if anyone has any questions. Decode them as we go. Starting with this beautiful Art Deco building here on the left-hand side. Civic Opera Building, 1929. Art Deco. We've talked about Art Deco before. You see the 3 Art Deco elements we talked about. And you see a beautiful lit up setback. We'll see a lot of this classic throne shape setback. The throne shape is one of 3 Art Deco setbacks. It's the most common and the most beautiful. See that throne shape right there? See where it says Civic Opera Building? Maybe you might be able to make that out. There's a big rectangle here to our left. That's the Opera House, this big rectangle, or the back of the Opera House to be more specific. The big idea of this structure was that the office space to the left, popular in Europe in the 1920s. All those modernist European architects flee Europe in the 30s, 40s, come to Chicago or New York, other places, influence American architecture, and make this style of modernism popular in the U.S., where construction on commercial office building begins anew in the 60s. The mantra of modernism, exits got the making a yellow school bus going the wrong way down Van Buren Street. So watch that opening scene of The Dark Knight on YouTube after our tour. The lobby is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, if you want to see where that scene was filmed. The building on the right, in the real world, is the Old Main Post Office, built in the 1930s, when Chicago was the catalog for Amazons in one single town. They needed this structure, the largest post office on planet Earth at the time of construction, to manage all of their mail, because they got so much of it. It's way too big to be a post office anymore. It's been since converted to a commercial office building. You can work there. It's still a very complex use of urban land. This federal highway runs right through the base of the old post office. A live active train line runs right under the old post office.